Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Janelle Nisbet, and I serve as the director of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society. It is with pleasure that I welcome each and every one of you here today for the unveiling of the Alexander Hamilton as a young man statue. Allow me to specially acknowledge the presence of Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, Premier of Nevis, other ministers and permanent secretaries, Ciara Saylor, U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados, Country Officer for St. Kitts and Nevis, Richard Lupinacci, President of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, other members of the Board of Directors of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, Mariana Oller, Chairperson of the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society, Vice Chair Thomas Oller, President Nicolette Cholet, Vice President Sergio Villavicencio, and other board members of the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society. And of course, a special welcome to Mr. Robin Summers, who made this event possible by donating the funding for this statue. Allow me to invite Pastor Eversley Pemberton, who will begin by leading us in a word of prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, we thank you today for this opportunity and privilege given to us that we can come here, even to celebrate the life of one who has served tremendously in terms of the United States and throughout the world. We ask that you'd make this event a memorable one indeed to all who are present here this afternoon. We ask in particular that you will serve as a source of inspiration to the people of Nevis, to let them know while they are focused, they can achieve anything. We thank you for those who are present here today. May your presence be with us throughout this meeting and make this event a successful one today. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord, we ask your mercies. Amen. Together we say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Eversley. Remain standing for the national anthem of St. Kitts and Nevis, which will be sung by Elizelle Ramirez.
O land of beauty, our country, where peace abounds, thy children stand free. On the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles, Saint Kitts and Nevis be a nation bound together with a common destiny. As tall words we stand for justice and liberty, with wisdom and truth, we will serve and honor thee. No sword nor spear can conquer, for God will sure defend. His blessing shall forever to posterity extend.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Please give him another round of applause. That was so well done. We're now going to have the national anthem for the United States, performed by Lee Sullivan. Today we are here to unveil the statue of this oftentimes polarizing figure, but undebatably a formidable man, born and partially raised on the island of Nevis. This statue is not to glorify, but rather to recognize the impact that individuals from small states such as ours can have on a global stage. Hamilton was a founding father of the US, and he is a pillar of their modern financial architecture. His contribution to the then young nation was so vast that to this day, the 10 US dollar bill still bears his image. While he did not get a chance to return to Nevis during his life to make his contribution to this, his homeland, we see this statue as an opportunity for that to be done in his afterlife. This statue reminds organizations and individuals alike of the ties that bind Nevis and the United States. Over the years, these ties have contributed and benefited the people of Nevis, as we have received grants, educational support, individual donations, and additional tourist visitors as a result of this connection. In recent times, we have had assistance from the Hamilton College in New York, who visited and assisted with our archives. We've also had donations to our scholarship fund, the Alexander Hamilton Scholarship, where we provide scholarships to 20 students annually. We've had donations to restore the lovely Trot House behind yourself, and many more. It is our hope that this statue will attract even more individuals to the island, where they will be inspired to come and learn more about Hamilton, but also leave learning more about our great island, our rich history, and much more that we have to offer. Thank you. I will now invite the Premier, Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, to give brief remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Chairperson, thank you very much, and I would want to adopt not only the protocol, but your admonition to be brief. I think all of you know that we're in a political season, and as a consequence, our speeches tend to be a little longer than necessary. I will spare you that length of speech today. Today is for me a very important and I would say momentous occasion. It is because in a very real sense Hamilton has come home. We all are aware that he was born here on this island of Nevis and, as we've heard, partially raised here. But of course his contribution was to the United States of America and the founding of that great nation, some say the greatest nation that our world has ever seen. And we, as I like to say, when I meet and interact with my friends from the United States, must agree that the United States owes Nevis a debt of gratitude. And so we are delighted that today, through the generous contribution of Mr. Robin Summers, that we have the Hamilton statue being unveiled. I confess that I often have a coffee here and I do not know what this statue looks like. But whatever it looks like, I believe that it will be a welcome addition to our history here and to a preservation of a very important and significant part of the history of our beloved island of Nevis. Now, it seems to me almost incongruous that an island this size could have contributed so much to a nation the size of the United States, the power of the United States. And what I'm hoping that this museum and this edifice will do, this statue will do, is not only will it inspire our young people here, not only will it remind all of us of the contribution of a Nevisian to the founding of the great United States of America, but I think that it ought to remind every little boy and girl here that we are never ever limited by the station of our birth. We are never ever limited by the place in which we are born. We are only ever limited by the extent of our ambitions and the extent of our imagination. And so Hamilton at some point was a little boy here, and he must have inspired himself, he must have imagined, he must have dreamt, and he, as a consequence, has achieved great things. It is my hope that this statue will serve to inspire generations of young people here and also continue to cement that long umbilical cord that we share with the United States of America. And if I can make an appeal to my American friends, since we gave you Hamilton so many years ago, and since he contributed so much to the founding of your great nation, since your financial system to this day is based on principles that he would have enunciated and developed, since your federal papers, I'm told, were written by him, and your Coast Guard was founded by him, I think it's the very least that you can do to ensure that the people of Nevis have visa-free access to the United States. And so I would want to thank you. I say that because I know I'm in the great company of officials from the U.S. Embassy. And I hope they'll take back that message that we would like to come. Just as Hamilton came without a visa, we would like to come without a visa ourselves. Thank you very much, and may this statue continue to inspire us all. Thank you.
I think every Nevisian would echo that sentiment for visa-free access. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. I will now invite the president of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, Mr. Richard Lupinacci, to also give some brief remarks.
As I am still jet-lagged from being in Europe for the last several weeks, I will be brief. It's easy. But this is particularly touching for me to be here with this Hamilton statue, because Hamilton was an immigrant from Nevis to America. And I'm an immigrant to Nevis from America. It's the reverse sort of thing. And I've always been very attached to that. Fortunately, I came by choice. He was scorned here. He had overcome great obstacles, great difficulties to go, but he was driven. He was mostly self-educated. His mother had a library of 23 books. They were good books. He read them. His mother arranged for him to get some instruction from a Jewish schoolmistress. But the rest was on him, always. Even when he got to the States, when he got his law degree, he had to tell them how to give law degrees. I mean, he really was on top of the whole thing. So it is a great pleasure to know this statue is here. to know that we in Nevis, that we are remembering his contribution to the world, really, because his contribution to the United States, a lot of the things he set in place in emotion, they were copied in other parts of the world. And to this day in America, he's venerated for that. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you get a chance to remember more about his story and the importance he had to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Richard Lupinacci. So nice. Everyone is being so obedient today. Thank you. We'll now interrupt the speeches to bring you a poem. A poem by Harvey Hendrickson, who is a former president of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society. And this poem is entitled, Hamilton, You Are Back.
This poem is entitled, Hamilton, You Are Back. Hamilton, you are back. When you left, we did not know, for it was many, many years ago. Many of us were not born, but we heard of you and the things you accomplished in distant lands. To say we are proud would certainly be true. Importantly, in the Treasury reports and the Federalist Papers, your significant contributions ring loud. In the whole of the United States Congress, and are echoed far beyond. In this, your homeland, Nevis, the reflections of those stories of your upbringing come to life once more. You, walking through the alley, cross his alley, to and from school. You, who stood and peered at the seaport, and saw our forefathers hurled from ships in chains, hands, and feet. There is so much more that could be said. But of one thing, we are sure, the foregoing was etched in your mind and consciousness, and served as a catalyst for your elevation. Your veiled return, though lifeless, has excited us. Our now generation will witness your unveiling appearance. Long we were in waiting for this portrait. Today, Friday, the 22nd day of July, 2022, on these hallowed grounds, Alexander James Hamilton stands tall.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrickson. We're now going to continue the program with another demonstration of the benefits that Nevisians have received partially as a result of Hamilton being born here. So recently we were granted funding from the U.S. Embassy in Barbados to conduct several educational programs on the island of Nevis, including different competitions from debates to poetry to essay competitions. Last week we would have executed one of those competitions, which was an art competition that featured Alexander Hamilton as well as democracy in action. I'm going to invite our country officer, Sierra Saylor, to join me as I announce the winners and present them with their certificates and prizes. We're going to begin with the participation prizes. So Toussaint Trotman, he will receive a gift voucher for $75 as well as a certificate and a gift bag. Here you go, Sister.
There you are. Congratulations.
Ricardo Byron.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
He will also receive a gift certificate for $75, a certificate of participation, and a gift bag. Now advancing into our third place position, we have Tyrell Porrell, who will receive a gift voucher for $150, a certificate of participation, as well as a gift
There
bag.
you are. Congratulations. You said it's Jarrell? Okay, we're going to pronounce her name differently.
Oh,
It's
Jarrell.
Yep. there we go.
Jarrell Powell, my
That's right.
apologies.
Own your name. Own your name.
Bring down
And they
your
want you
mask,
to take
love.
your mask off, love. There we go. Congratulations, Jarrell.
Second runner up, we have Jamoya Mitchell. She will receive a gift voucher for $200, a certificate of participation, as well as a gift bag. Jamoya Mitchell.
Congratulations. You're welcome. Here you go. Ready? And smile. Awesome. There you go. Congratulations.
And our first place winner is Annalise Arthurton. She will receive a gift voucher for $250, a certificate, and a gift bag. Congratulations.
Ready? You're welcome. There you are. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Ms. Saylor. And if the audience can just look to my right, you will see the paintings arranged in order. So first place, second place, third place, and our participants. You can just view and enjoy them. We're now going to invite Scott McScott to give a portrayal of Alexander Hamilton, as he's a Hamilton reenactor and historical interpreter.
Good day to you all. I would like to thank the people of Nevis, the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, as well as the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society. I appreciate that you've chosen a more youthful image of myself, which you soon shall see, which reflects my early optimism about the possibilities of life. It is exciting to be back here in Nevis. I look out at the familiar colonial Caribbean architecture of Charlestown, and I remember my childhood. I remember walking down these streets with my brother Peter, down by the hot springs and the cool rivers. I remember the ambition of my father. I remember my mother walking with us to find educational opportunities for my brother and me. This is the island that bore me and helped me lay my personal foundation of strength in character. There are many things that have changed over the years, but one thing that has not changed is that I am a proud Nevisian. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamilton. Okay. We'll now have a statement read by Thomas Oller, who is the Vice Chair of the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society. He will be reading a statement prepared by Alexander Hamilton's fifth great-grandson, Douglas Hamilton. Welcome, Thomas Oller.
So, good afternoon. Doug Hamilton is the great-great-great-great-great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton, And he has a grandson, also named Alexander Hamilton, who was born on January 11th. So he shares the birthday with the founding father. And Doug wants you all to know that he really wanted to be here on this special day, but unfortunately he was unable to due to family obligations. So he's very thankful for this incredible gift of the statue donated by Robin Summers to the museum and to the people of Nevis. And he adds, Alexander Hamilton was a son of Nevis whose ideas and words from over 200 years ago are still relevant today. The statue is also a tribute to the great people of Nevis for the inspiring message they sent to the world. From all the Hamilton family, thank you all for this wonderful effort.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aller. Now we are approaching the moment that you've all been waiting for. We want to unveil the Hamilton statue so that you can finally see what's been hidden for about a week now. So I'd like to invite donor Mr. Robin Summers, President Richard Lupinacci, AHA Society Vice President Sergio Villavicencio, as well as Honorable Mark Brantley to assist with the unveiling. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We'll now have some remarks by Nicolette Cholet, President of the AHA Society, the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Chalet, and as Jeanette said, I'm the president of the AHA Society. And it is truly an honor to be here finally after 10 years of working to support this beautiful historic site, to be here on site, to discover its historic beauty, its natural surroundings, and of course, the beauty of its people. I will not be so obedient as to brevity because I have so much appreciation to give, but it will give you more time to appreciate the statue that you see behind you. On behalf of the entire Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society Board, Mariana Aller, John Herzog, Tom Aller, Sergio Villavicencio, Richard Silla, and myself, we are so pleased to see this statue finally unveiled and presented to the island of Nevis. The concept of this statue was actually first created in this courtyard while our board members were here on an official delegation to Nevis, enjoying a bite to eat here in the courtyard, and the idea for a statue first came to fruition. After 3 years of research, consulting with local shareholders, site visits, and many, many discussions to collaborate on not only the statue's design, but also the 5 accompanying plaques that will be placed along the historic wall here, and its installation and unveiling, it is an exciting moment to share it with you all today. The AHA Society has worked with the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society since 2012, and we formalized our partnership in 2014 with our AHA for Nevis initiative to support projects here on the island of Nevis. Also in our home base in New York City, we have had the pleasure to raise awareness of Nevis and its importance with many programs we have held throughout New York City, hosting various Nevisian dignitaries, including the Honorable Mark Brantley and the late Honorable Vance Amory, setting up video connections to unite events being held simultaneously here at the Hamilton Birthplace Museum, as well as with historic Hamilton sites throughout the city, and even raising, through a special flag-raising ceremony, the St. Kitts and Nevis flag on the historic Bowling Green in Lower Manhattan. Highlights of the wonderful partnership we have shared here on the island include facilitating membership with the NHCS for people living in the US, support of the annual Hamilton Tea Party and the Hamilton scholarships to local school children, the donation of a special scanner to allow the organization to digitize its archives, the restoration of the Trot House, the donation of the exhibit Hamilton, US Founder and Visionary, and now our latest collaboration, the statue Hamilton as a Young Man. We truly hope this statue further enhances interest and engagement with both the Hamilton Birthplace Museum and the Museum of Nevis History on this site. Over the past week, the AHA Society and the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society has held a full program of events for the community and our friends and members who have traveled from all over, with programs such as Statues, How They Memorialize, Harm, and Heal, Alexander Hamilton Immigrant, Alexander Hamilton's Mother and Family in Gingerland, Nevis, and a special showing of original Hamilton documents. As part of the unveiling festivities, we have had many wonderful meals at exceptional restaurants throughout the island and explored Nevis's culture and heritage through various site visits. This program has been a wonderful opportunity to introduce many people to Nevis for the first time, including myself, and I want to particularly thank the AHA Society's Unveiling Committee, Marty Londo, Sergio Villavicencio, Carol Ward, and Johanna Yan, for their work in putting together such a fantastic itinerary for all of those that participated. May this statue continue to attract more people to Nevis to discover its beauty and warm hospitality. Prior to this statue project, the AHA Society had previously served as a historical consultant for a Hamilton statue that was unveiled in 2018 at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy in New London, Connecticut. It was through this work that we were first introduced to the incredible talent, vision, and dedication of sculptor Benjamin Victor. At age 26, Ben Victor became the youngest artist ever to have a sculpture in the National Statuary Hall in the United States Capitol, and by 2019, he became the only living artist to have 3 works in that location. While working with him, we were so impressed by his commitment to learn as much as he could, not only about the life of Alexander Hamilton, but also about who he was as a person, so that he could convey that spirit through his sculpture. When it came to find a sculptor for Hamilton as a young man in Nevis, it was a natural fit to work again with Ben Victor. He worked extensively with our 2 organizations to design this unique statue, and since it is not certain how Alexander Hamilton looked as a child, but that we do have a good sense of how he looked as a young man from portraits, it was decided to use this approach to symbolize his youth in the Caribbean, and particularly his birth and early upbringing in Nevis. The scroll element that you see is an important part of the statue. The scroll, as you see, is rolled up, and Hamilton is carrying it with him, symbolizing all of the knowledge, the skills, the ideals, the values, and the mindset that he gained here in the Caribbean, and then carried with him throughout the rest of his life. This statue also has a special connection with the first Hamilton statue created by Benjamin Victor in the US. In that statue, he is shown holding a scroll open, much the way I am now, depicting a very important document written when Alexander Hamilton was the Secretary of Treasury in the US. In that statue, the symbolism of the scroll carries a different meaning. Hamilton has come to his own as an adult, and all that he learned as a young man in the Caribbean is on full display. In this statue, you'll also see that Hamilton's jacket is draped over his arm, further symbolizing his transition eventually from boy to man, and that he will soon be ready to don his formal coat as a man, but he is still hungry for action. His stance mirrors that mentality, with his legs wide and his chest open, looking forward directly and ready to face the future. As you have a chance to continue to observe the statue up close after the ceremony, you will see the outstanding patina work done by Benjamin Victor, whose signature can be found by the left ankle. In addition to the statue, the AHA Society is donating 5 commemorative and informative plaques to be installed along the historic stone wall here in this courtyard to greet and provide context to visitors for the statue. The first plaque, titled Alexander Hamilton, Son of Nevis, describes Hamilton's connections to Nevis and his focus on education throughout his life, which was first instilled in him by his mother on Nevis. The second plaque is titled Alexander Hamilton, Citizen of the Caribbean, and it describes the broader context of the Caribbean's influence on Hamilton. The third plaque is Alexander Hamilton, founding father of the United States, and lists several of his major contributions and achievements in that capacity. The fourth plaque is about the Statue Project and our desire to make a lasting contribution to preserve the memory of Alexander Hamilton in the Caribbean and honor the values and principles that inspired his remarkable life. The fifth plaque reads, and I quote, "Dedicated to the people of Nevis. This statue of Alexander Hamilton as a young man was donated by Robin Summers, July 22nd, 2022, with many thanks from the Nevis Island Administration and Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, in partnership with the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society, honoring Alexander Hamilton as a son of Nevis." With that being said, I would like to give one final warm and hearty thank you to Robin Summers for making all of this possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shirley. I hope you've all learned a lot more about the history of the statue, as well as the information that should be on the plaques that are soon to arrive. We'll now move on to our vote of thanks by Abigail Swanson, who is a former Hamilton Scholarship recipient.
Respected guests, honorable members of the Nevis Island Administration, all the dignitaries, friends and supporters of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society present here, good afternoon. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful event on behalf of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the various contributors of this unveiling, namely the Director of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, Ms. Janelle Nisbet, who did a marvelous job at guiding us through this afternoon proceedings, Pastor Eversley Pemberton for the prayer, Elizelle Dorset and Lisa Villian for the great renditioning of the national anthem of St. Kitts Nevis and the U.S., Harvey Hendrickson for his poem, Hamilton Year Back, Premier of Nevis, the Honorable A.G. Brantley, President of the NHCS, Richard Lupinacci, and President of the AHA Society, Nicole Shelley, for their brief remarks. Students who participated in the art competition, Alexander Hamilton's fifth great-grandson, Douglas Hamilton, for his statement, and Vice Chair of AHA Society, Thomas Allah, for the reading. Scott Maxcott for his portrayal of Hamilton. Thank you. I also want to extend huge thanks and deepest gratitude to Mr. Robin Summers, the donor of the Alexander Hamilton statue, along with Benjamin Victor for sculpting the masterpiece. That is the Alexander Hamilton statue. Special thanks to Bright Light, Architecture and Sustainable Engineering, Dylan Webb, Jason Williams, Spencer Tyrrell, and others at Lefco Construction for installing the statue. Sincere thanks to the heads and representatives of the numerous departments, organizations, and businesses, whether local, regional, and/or international, who handled the event throughout and cooperated with the needs of the society to make this a reality. A wide round of applause and thanks to everyone who made this event a memorable one. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us to make this unveiling a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Swanston. Give her a round of applause. She was so eloquent. I'd just like to invite you to look at the back of your programs as well for other individuals and companies who will have contributed to making this a possibility, who might not have been listed by Ms. Swanston. We also want to recognize the presence of the media, as well as our in-house audiovisual support, Patrick Howell, for making sure that we have this for a long time to come in the future. I'd just like to close by thanking everyone once again for coming here today and inviting you to browse, support our gift shop. We have light refreshments available at the back as well. And anyone who is interested in supporting young individuals such as Miss Swanston can feel free to sign up to contribute to our Hamilton Scholarship Fund. Thank you all for coming once again. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.